What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. I hope you guys have had a great week so far. Got some updates for you guys. As you guys can see, look at what I have going on my chart. So I haven't streamed this week, and I'm going to break everything down for you guys because I decided to do a little scalping, and you guys can see the balance down below. I'm now at 135 again, up 35% on the account. How did I do it? All right, let's break it down. So it started at the end of, well, I guess over the last little while. I even broke it down for you guys on stream last week. Been taking a few losses. The stream's been dragging on, or the challenge has been dragging on because I've been playing it low risk as if I were a higher, larger capital account, to try and, grow this safely and take that approach, which is the right way to do it if you want to build the right habits and, go about it that way and not obviously risk losing that money really quickly. But, and we started off pretty nice. We went up like 25, 30% in like a month or two, and then didn't stream as much. Trades weren't as frequent, and things started to dip back down. Went down to like 98 bucks or something, maybe a little lower in that area. And then I'm like, all right, I'm tired of the slow up and down here. It's taking a long time. Let's make a little bit more progress with the challenge. So week starts, and I decided to do a bit of scalping. All right, I didn't stream it, but I did some scalping. I don't usually scalp, and it's a little bit hectic, and I did it without risk management in mind. Obviously, I didn't want to blow the account in one trade, and I did it kind of strategically. Like I entered several positions down here that obviously weren't ready for the move, right? So it pulled back on up, and I didn't lose when it pulled back on up because I didn't over risk too much on these trades. I did risk more and obviously enter a few trades, but I didn't go crazy with it. So when it did pull back initially, even though I still like the setup, I was able to hold and not get taken out there. So let me break it all down for you guys. So I ended up I started off the week initially looking at this setup, and I was like, maybe I could look for a buy if we see a breakout of this trend line. All right, that was in this area over here. Then we start to see it break down below here, and I'm like, okay, I actually think I'm going to look for some sells. So I enter a sell here, all right, somewhere in this area over here. Goes down a little bit in profit. I think I enter another one. I don't remember if I enter the next one in profit or as it's pulling back up on me, but either way, I enter two more positions in this area, all right? Two more sells to see it come down towards this target down here. I accidentally placed a buy here. I didn't do that on purpose. I think my finger just slipped because I was on my phone. So I placed a buy, and as it started to pull back, I closed that out and just secured like 50 cents or something, just whatever. And yeah, it pulled back up on me, and I hopped in multiple more positions. I hopped in two more sells over here as it looked like it was finding some resistance, pulled back on up more, and I just kept adjusting my stop loss. I was scalping, and I was playing it risky, trying to make a decent jump back into profit on the challenge so we can move forward a little bit more. That was kind of my reasoning for wanting to scalp in the first place. It did start to pull back up on me, and wasn't looking great, obviously, but I still like the setup, and I did expect a pullback down at one way or another, whether it was going to carry on the overall buy setup or just be a somewhat of a pullback, So I decided to hold that out, and then when it came up here and then started to push back on down, I thought it was going to be a nice time for another sell. So I hopped another sell right over here. Made a nice move. I think that was overnight here. Pulled back on up. Hopped another sell right up here. Came on down nicely. Started to see some nice progress on the trade, coming back down to profit yesterday. And then throughout yesterday, it kind of ranged. I hopped in more positions as I was looking for it to continue on down. Didn't quite make that further move yesterday, which was right around yesterday where my initial entries were, right? So I could have closed out, but I didn't want to do that quite yet. Also, mind you, I stacked some positions on GJ. I hopped in like 3 GJ sells, which ended up taking me out. So I'd lost like 15 bucks on GJ. I ended up down at 80 bucks in the account. All right, went down to 80. And the thing with GJ too is I ended up losing by less than a single pip. I'll show you that after. Less than 1 pip is what I got taken out on GJ before that one went into profit. But whatever, it happens. The idea was right, and it was the same idea as this setup. And then yeah, I held on as we were in profit on some of these trades and then kind of break even on these ones. And then overnight and today, it started to give us that push coming on down. And that's when I saw the sum of all these trades. So 14 trades total is what I took this week. 1 buy here accidentally. 3 on GJ that I should have won but got taken out by a pip and lost. So went down 15 on that, down to like 80. And then with 10 entries here for sells, I ended up closing out $60 profit on that, which pretty nice. That's almost doubling up the account. That's 75% profit on the $80 account. And now we're at 135. We're back. All right. So risky, not necessarily the wisest approach. Obviously, that could have set me back farther. And that's why I try not to do that a lot on stream, because it is riskier. And, you know, if it doesn't go well, you can set yourself further back, and it's just a downward spiral effect. You just keep on losing, you keep digging yourself deeper, and then you chase more and you lose. So it was risky, mind you. But I liked the setup, and, you know, I just stuck with it. And yeah, I could have let this go even further. As you can see, I closed out all of the positions right here, literally right before I hopped on stream. I wasn't sure how I was going to play it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to hop on stream yet. But and more of the story, we're back streaming, broken down this overall setup that has kind of brought us back in this challenge a little bit. And now I'm going to continue on with the challenge moving forward, not with this approach, not with the last approach either, kind of a hybrid, all right? I'm going to go shorter term positions, not necessarily scalping too much. I mean, this was intended to be more of a scalping type of trade, but it dragged on. Yeah, so we're going to look for those shorter term, still decently sized, like intraday setups. And yeah, you know, I'll probably up the risk a little bit, play it not too risky, like a manageable size. Won't be chasing and dragging stop losses up like this most of the time, but I wanted to. That was kind of in my eyes like, all right, let's see if this trade can either, you know, bring us back a little bit, or if it'll just set us back. So I took that risk, and it worked out, which is nice. So good to see. Back to 135, which is either right around where we peaked at the challenge when I was growing it incrementally, or maybe even a little bit further. I really wanted to hold and see if I can, you know, ride out this last bit towards the bottom here. You know, that would have been nice. We probably would have been up around like 160, 180. So that would have been a pretty nice jump from where we are even now. But we've seen such a nice, you know, profit on this trade, and I didn't want to give that up. Could have secured partials as well. In hindsight, I probably should have, but I had 10 trades open, and the close all button was looking nice, as opposed to going through all of them, and I didn't want to think about it too much. And yeah, so I just decided profit is better than no profit. I'd rather see this carry on without me than pull right back on up, and then I miss out on the profit in the first place, right? So no matter what you're doing, you're always going to battle with those types of thoughts. And, you know, I think you just got to do what you think is best, right? Profit is better than no profit. Happy to secure that and take it and run. And, you know, now I can look for another trade, right? If I lost, then I'd be looking for another trade, but the profit would be making up for losses that I've already, you know, taken. So now if I take another trade, then I can look to build on what we've already secured. So yeah, that was a lot. I just went through that really quick because I didn't want to miss anything. And it's just a lot, you know. I usually go for a more chill approach here on stream, and this was kind of the opposite, which is why I didn't stream it, because it's complex. And usually I don't like to sit on my charts all day, so I don't. And yeah, I'm kind of just on my phone, just kind of doing other things, and yeah, managing this trade, you know. That's the deal with this, all right? Let me go over to GJ and show you the other trade that I took that ended up like barely taking me out. So yeah, looked for some sells. I'll even go down to like the 5 and show you and get really close. Where'd that go? Okay, so hopped in, a sell over here, a sell over here, and a sell over here on this pullback. Came back up here, was still in the position. My stop loss was higher, I guess. Came down, which was nice, was in a bit of profit around break even, but, you know, a little bit up. And then it pulled back on up. My stop loss, I guess you can't see where my stop loss was exactly. My stop loss was right up in this area, and it had literally just taken me out before coming right back down. I mean, you can kind of get the gist of that without seeing where my stop loss was exactly, just by, you know, where it took me out and the move that followed, right? It took me out right on this little push here, and then came right back down. So wouldn't have been a massive profit, but came down towards this area here where, you know, I don't know if I would have, you know, secured profit or not, but either way, not a bad setup, decent idea, got taken out, so that made it even harder. You know, that set me back another 13 to 15 bucks, making the profit from the successful CAD JPY trade a little bit less. So here are those trades. All right, we got some a nice one up here, 0.3, 0.2, 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, sorry, I'm saying that wrong, 0.03, 0.02, 02, 03, 02. So let me add this up and see what my lot size overall was on CAD JPY. 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 18, 19. About 24, 25. I might have miscounted. That was either 0.24 or 0.25 lot size on this, what was an $80 account. So you can see the massive risk. You know, sometimes it takes that if you want to make a little bit of an advancement, right? I kind of weighed that out. So yeah, steadily growing it is going to be the safe approach, and it's going to be more of the approach that I do take with this challenge, but I did want to see if I can boost us forward a little bit, just bring back some of the excitement, a little bit of profit, and now I have a little bit more room to take some bigger trades and some, stack some entries, whatever I decide I want to do. I have a little bit more buffer room, right? I had dipped down below 100, and at that point, I'm just looking to get back. I'm not really trying to, I want to be as little risky as I can and do whatever I can to not deepen that loss when I'm down at that point, right? So it makes it hard to climb back out of and at least time consuming. And at the end of the day, I'm really just doing this challenge. Well, I wanted to do this challenge to show you guys that you can grow a $100 account safely over time, which you can, but over time is over time, right? I'm not trying to show you that you can do it safely quickly, because you can't safely quickly grow an account like this, right? If you're pushing for those really, really big, weeks and months profit-wise, you're going to see some challenging times. And yeah, that's why I wanted to bounce back with one setup here that I liked, stacked on it a little bit more than I was, planning on it. Like, that wasn't the intention going in necessarily. I wanted to take a little bit bigger of a risky trade and kind of scalp, but I wasn't trying to stack 10 positions when I went in. I kind of stacked them because, after it had initially pulled back on me with my first 3 entries, it then started to look really good. And from there, really all those positions did kind of just go straight into profit. So it kind of made sense with this one. And I did want to maximize the profit I could get from that setup, which I'm happy I did, right? If I didn't stack any, I wouldn't have been back over 100. If I had just kept those 3 initial entries, let it come back down to profit and then close, I would have probably made, $10, $15 max, but walked away with $60 profit on the $80 account, and we're back. So now, I know that was a long recap, but I want to break down what's going to happen moving forward. But actually, let me zoom in here on CAD JPY, because it's looking like my closure was well timed. It did for a second look like it was going to push down from there, which is what it is. I'd rather it push down further into profit without me than, risk it and see it pull back on up and me lose those profits. So happy I secured that. Right now it's kind of ranging in this area, so I don't feel too bad about securing that there. Maybe I would have left a couple positions running in hindsight. Like I said, the close all button was just looking so much nicer and easier than going through all 10 individually. Wouldn't have taken too long, but a lot can happen. So I just closed out full, and yeah, I decided to hop on stream, update you guys, and kind of explain what's going to happen moving forward. So going to be continuing with the challenge, obviously, as is. I'm probably not going to be swing trading or intraday trading too much during Asian session. If I do stream Asian session, I'll either be giving some analysis, breaking down some pairs and setups, or I'll be doing some scalping. I'll look for some shorter term entries. Maybe I'll have some fun with it and do some of that. I was contemplating with the idea of morning time, I'll look for those bigger setups. Nighttime, I'll kind of scalp and see if I have any opportunities like that. And then, yeah, the morning streams here are going to continue the same as they've been. I'm going to try and take some shorter term trades, because when I take smaller setups, I can find more setups, which is just more fun for all of us. And I don't want to be too serious with it. Like, I want to follow my rules and grow this steadily and do what I can to have the best results. But when I say not too serious with it, I mean, it's $100 and, let's have some fun. Let's try and make, a decent profit on this account, see if we can reach that goal while, balancing good risk management and actually moving the needle. You know what I mean? So risking, 0.3, 0.5, 0.03 or 0.05 lots, I meant, on some trades. We'll see. I'll double enter, like I'll stack positions if I feel it's worth it. I haven't really spent the time on the charts, stacking positions and really kind of into it like that in the lower time frames, and I actually enjoyed it. It does consume my life a little bit when I do it that way, which is why I don't do it like that too much. But I am going to mix a little bit more of that into it. So that's the deal. Chat, I hope you guys are enjoying the idea of that. If you guys are, smash that like button. Let me know. I do appreciate it. I'll also send a little bit of a recap of this in the community and in the Telegram just to keep you guys updated. But that's the deal. I'll break down some setups and some opportunities here as well. All right. Sorry, chat, my keyboard stopped working. One sec. Well, I have no idea what just happened. Whoa. I don't know what's going on with my keyboard here. What? Oh, shoot. One sec, chat. I'll be right back.